Okay, welcome back, guys. So back in the workshop once again. So haven't got a show for a little bit, but from the last show we did, it was really muddy. So yesterday, I cleaned the tractor unit. So I took the tractor unit off and I've cleaned that through. It was a right state. It was so bad, I even took off the mud wings off the back of it so I could clean all around the axles on it. But today we got to get the monster truck out and clean the monster truck, and it is absolutely tipping down outside. So you can probably see out there it's really wet. But luckily enough, my workshop has got drainage in it, so it's got a slope into it, and it's got a drain in the corner of the workshop, so we can actually get the monster truck out and clean it indoors. So it's really handy when it's really wet. So I'm going to get the tyres out. I'm not going to clean the tyres just yet because they are filthy, so we're going to push them to the back of the workshop, up there, up in where we do the fiberglass in and that. So yes, I'm going to push the tyres up there, and I'm going to clean them another day when I can get them outside, because they let off a lot of mud, so I don't want to block up the drain in here. So the monster truck, I've cleaned a lot of it off already. So let's get Swampthing out now, unload all the tyres and get the monster truck out. Okay, so this is what the monster truck looks like. Believe it or not, I've already jet washed this just very quickly before we left the last show to get the worst of it off. But yeah, it gets absolutely everywhere. So look, all around the shock absorbers, all around the engine, all over the axle, it gets absolutely plastered. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go over with Power Maxed the snow foam. We've already diluted it, so we basically 1 litre does 33 makes up 33 litres. So we make it up already. So when you see me filling it up, when you see it on the gun, it's already diluted. So make sure you dilute it. Don't use it neat. It's quite expensive and you'll go through it a lot. But so a little bit goes a very long way. So it's really, really good, and it gets this thing looking really, really clean. Just with a jet wash before we even go over it, and then after we've done this. The problem you get with the monster truck is all the tubes. So after you've gone and jet washed it, you still have to go around and detail it to clean up all the tubes, so you can get all the way around there with a microfiber towel. So let's start some jet washing indoors, because it is absolutely tipping out there. I'm so lucky with the way my workshop's set up. So we got a drain over in the corner, so we can wash it all down into the drain. So yeah, so let's get on with some detailing of Swampthing here in the workshop. There's Shadow. A lot of people, sorry, before we start, a lot of people ask about Shadow. Can I do a video on Shadow? Let's go and talk to her. She's not very camera friendly, believe it or not. So this is Shadow. Oh, there she is. So Shadow is 12 years old now, but she's not that well at the moment. She's actually got a big tumour. So yeah, the tumour's on the other side, the side she's laying on. She doesn't even know it's there. They can't operate on it. The tumour is too big. So if you turn this side, Shads, you can see the size of the. Oh, she won't show it to you. Yeah, she's actually got a tumour in her side, but she doesn't know it's there. Do you, darling? Hey, look at all the people on YouTube. Yeah. So we've had her for 10 years. We had her when she was 2 years old, and she comes everywhere with me. All the shows she comes to, apart from some of the ones like at Swanta Pod where there's no dogs allowed. So she goes and stays with my dad, don't you? Hey? Yeah, but Huskies are a really, really nice breed. Don't like to be left on their own. They're a pack animal. So yeah, but yeah, you can see how big the lump is now in the side of her there. But yeah, so that's Shadow. But let's get on with some cleaning. Okay, so that's it. Swampthing's all nice and clean. Got the tractor unit back in. That's all washed. It's a lot of washing when you got a monster truck. It's not only you've got to try and get this thing clean, we have to keep the trailer looking clean as well. So yeah, so I'm going to leave that now, just so all the water to come off of it, and then when that's dry, then we can go over with the detailer and get it looking absolutely pristine. So that's going to be it for today. Come back tomorrow. Morning. Right, so yeah, so we let the monster truck dry off overnight and it's come out not too bad. So what we've got to go do now is finish detailing the truck. So what I mean by detailing is we go around all the bodywork, put a nice coat of Power Max summer jacket on it, because that helps to get the dirt off. Most people, when they get mud on their cars, it's only like road dirt and stuff like that. This monster truck gets absolutely plastered. So what we got to do now, we just go around, also around all the shock absorbers, all the tubes, we go around that with quick detailer. So that's really easy to use as well. That's straight out the bottle. But the main thing we got to do is, especially around the back here. So when we're in the back, so this is the firewall in the monster truck. So you can see there's dirt, and it actually gets behind all the tubes in all the gaps. So we're going to take all this Lexan out and then clean it all and then put it all back again. It doesn't really show up on the camera how dirty this is. So yeah, this is jet wash, but if you can, I don't know if you can see there, that's mud, and that's actually on the inside. So when I jet wash the monster truck, we don't jet wash the inside too much. If it gets really bad, we do it. But the problem with the monster truck on mine, all the electrics, if I go underneath, this is how we get in. So all the electrics on a monster truck doesn't really show up. But that's all the ignition unit under the seat. We've got the fire extinguisher under there. And we got another handheld fire extinguisher there. So all the electrics for the monster truck are all under the seat, and also on the other side of it is all the relays for the rear steering, because the rear steering is electrics. Yeah, so but you can see the difference. So this is Lexan I've already cleaned. So if I put the camera on the other side of it, so I'm on the inside, the camera's on the outside now. So I've already cleaned this one. So it's a lot different. If you compare it to the back one, you can see where the engine is. It's all dirty in there. So the next thing we're going to do, take all the Lexan out, clean it. What I used to clean it with is glass cleaner. So it's Power Max glass cleaner. Really nice to use. The only thing you've got to be careful with Lexan, especially with the windscreen. So the windscreen's all cleaned. I haven't cleaned the bonnet yet. We haven't got polished the bonnet yet. Yeah, so the problem with the Lexan, it will scratch. So what we do is we always do the movements always in a straight line. We don't do it around in circles. Put circles in it, we're going to get spiral circles, and you can't see through it, especially if a light gets on it. So when we clean the windscreen, even if it's wet, we just brush it down in a straight line. So if you do scratch it, it's in a straight line, so you haven't got that bar that goes all the way across, so you can see out. So yeah, that's one thing to bear in mind. If you're ever cleaning something that will scratch, clean it in a straight line so then you can see through it always in the same way. Okay, so I've taken all the firewall out now. So the firewall's just held in with M8 bolts, and they're into these things called a Rivet. So they're like a little insert. So that's what they actually look like before they put in. So what they do is we put them in and then we pull them like a pot rivet, and it squashes. Where's the camera? There it is. So yeah, so it squashes that little ridge bit, and that's what grips it into the hole. So when I was taking it out, one of them actually broke. So we got to put a new one in up here. So we're going to put that in the hole there, and then we're going to pull it with the Rivet gun. So let's see how this works. So okay, so this is what the Rivet gun looks like. So you can actually use it for putting pot rivets on. So you can actually see, you can change the ends, and you can put a new barrel into it. So yeah, you've probably seen before I use the air riveter, but this you can't use an air riveter for this. So what you do is you get the insert, we screw it onto the end. You have to open this up, and we just put it so the end just comes through the end there. So you see the end of the nut has just come through the insert. So then when we pull the arms together, it will crush this one there, and then that would make it fit firmly in the hole. Right, don't know how it's going to come out on the camera. I've tucked the camera on top of the supercharger, so let's put the insert in. And that's it, so all we have to do now is back it out. That's it. New ones are in the hole, simple as that. Okay, so that's it done. That rib nut is all back in now. So that's all good to go. So now let's get on with cleaning the rest of the Lexan, so we can clean all around the tubes, get all them looking nice. Yeah, so we're going to detail that with quick detailer, and then we can get down to cleaning all the Lexan there, and then we can fit it all back in again. So it won't take long to do this. So I'm not going to video it because it's really hard to video in this. So it's because I'm doing this all on my own, and I've actually got a tripod now for the camera, so I'm not using the vice grip like I've been using before. So yeah, and also I've actually put a different microphone on it to try and get the sound quality a little bit better, because sometimes, especially outside, it gets a bit boomy. So I bought a nice microphone for the camera now so you guys have a bit better sound. But if I'm quiet, yeah, it's raining again here in England. So yeah, it goes from one extreme to the other. One day it's absolutely baking hot, and the next day it's absolutely tipping down with rain again. So yeah, I'm glad I'm indoors working on the truck. Another thing we have to tidy up on the monster truck, believe it or not, is the shock absorbers. So if you can see the shock absorbers there, that's the metal underneath the shock absorber. So the tyres actually, when it's been on the monster truck's landed on a funny angle, the tyres will touch just brush the shock absorbers. They don't touch them hard, they just barely touch them, but it takes off the paint. So what we do is we repaint them fairly quite often. So what I've got is, I see we've got this bit of cardboard in there. So that goes round where the ports are, and then we just put another piece of cardboard down the inside of it, and then we spray it with black aerosol. So let's get on with that now. So that's that one done. Okay, so you must agree that looks a lot better now. Now the shocks haven't got those nasty bits on it. So that's that one done. Just 3 more to do. Doesn't take long at all, but it helps to keep Swampthing looking good. Okay, so you can't be afraid of heights if you own a monster truck. Even cleaning it, look how I'm on a ladder so we can polish it. So yeah, so what we're doing now is we're putting on Power Max summer jacket. Now this has got nanotechnology in it, and the reason I use this on the monster truck is it stops stuff sticking to it. So yeah, so every time it gets dirty, it's just easier to keep it clean. I haven't put it on for a while. It lasts for a very long time, this, and when you see me washing it, you can see all the water beading up. That's because it's basically in paint. There's loads of little holes, and what this stuff does is it actually fills the hole in, so it doesn't give it the chance for anything to stick to it. So the last time I'd done it was probably about 3 months ago, and so I thought, well, while we're cleaning it and we're doing a whole load of cleaning, let's go over it and give it another coat. So it's really easy to put on. So you just get it, lightly put it on the ladder, and I've just dropped it, so it hasn't broken. Yeah, and we just wipe it over. When I normally do it, I just do little bits at a time. So that'll be it done. Then you just leave that for a few minutes to buff off a little bit, so you'll see it goes a little bit cloudy. And you just go with another clean microfiber towel and just polish it all the way off, and that's it. It's that simple. It's ready to use straight out the bottle. So we're going to do the rest of the truck now. I've already done the other side of it. So yeah, so we've got to do this side. So the bonnet, if you look at the bonnet, the bonnet's done. Look how shiny that's come out. You can see on the truck, the last time I rolled it over, it's got a crack up that goes all along the top. It's got a bit of a scuff here, so all I've done is brush the paint into where the scuff is. Most people don't actually notice it. When it's actually doing its show, you can't really notice that it's got the scuff in there. But I try and keep it as looking as clean as I can. But at the end of the day, it's a monster truck and they do roll over. So yeah, so let's get on with finishing the rest of the cleaning. Then we can put the Lexan back in, because the Lexan's not back in, but all the tubes, I've cleaned down all the tubes in the monster truck. So let's just get this last little bit done. And then I've got to change the bonnet. Yeah, so we're going to put a new bonnet on the front of it, because the next show we're doing in the dark. So as you see up on the shelf there's another bonnet all painted up. That one's got headlights in it, so we've got LED headlights. So we're going to put that on there. Got to put some green lights in the back, so we're going to light up the bed sides in the back to shine the engine up. And then we've got a really big light bar that goes in the front chassis mount of the monster truck. So we're going to put some more lights on it. And then I've got to make a phone call then to whether I see if I make a pad that goes in the back up on the top X there, because we were on about putting fireworks in the back of the monster truck and having fireworks going off, but I'm not sure if that's happening yet. So let me make a phone call. Swampthing's clean. Look at this. Oh, so happy how it's come out. This bodywork's been on there a while now. Still looks fairly good. There was a few battle scars on it, but it's a monster truck. But yeah, so the whole thing's all clean now. So all the Lexan's in at the back. It's all in at the front. Got to put going to be putting the LEDs in the back on metal strips underneath the bedside, but there's no wiring in for that at the moment. Also going to be changing the bonnet, because of this one's actually got the painted headlights. So the bonnet up on the shelf, that one's got the LED headlights. Also, in the front of this here, they've got the recovery mount. So in the recovery mount, I've actually got another light bar that bolts in there. So then it's just held in with 2 bolts in here as well. But yes, I did phone up Swanta Pod because I wanted to find out whether we were actually going to be putting fireworks in the back of Swampthing, and we are. So the next show, Flame and Thunder, I think just for the evening show, because the evening show's in the dark, we're going to be having Pyrotechnics on the back of the monster truck during the show. So I'm going to have to make just a platform to bolt in the back so they can actually bolt the fireworks down to it. Fairly simple. All I'm going to do is get some 2-inch exhaust clamps and then weld a bolt coming up so I can actually bolt a piece of wood down, so it's nice and easy to get the wood on and off, because we're going to have to take the wood off to refuel the monster truck, because the fuel tank of mine is in the back. So if I take it to the back of the monster truck, nearly dropped you then, didn't want to drop you. So the fuel tank of my monster truck's in the back here. So we're going to be putting a platform across the top. So yeah, so we got to make it so it unbolts and bolts really easy, because every time we want to refuel it, and we have to refuel it every single show anyway. So but then they can bolt the fireworks down on it, and it's all nice and safe. So I'm going to have to go and buy some exhaust clamps. I'll see you in the morning. Okay, so got into the workshop this morning, and it's not good because someone, when I was just popped out to get those exhaust clamps, they reversed into my workshop door and bent it up. So I've had to fix that this morning before I've done anything. So yeah, so look what this guy did. Just parks up on his phone and goes to pull away, and he's left it in reverse and just starts it up and reverses it straight into the door, but doesn't even bother stopping and just drives off. So luckily it's all on CCTV, and I've passed it to my landlord, and he's got hold of the guy, and he's having to pay for the doors to get fixed. So yeah, so I've had to do that this morning. So they're all fixed now. Didn't bother videoing it, it's not really interesting, but I just thought I'd show you that. So yeah, so I've got the exhaust clamps. So these are the exhaust clamps. All I'm going to do is on the top of it, keep forgetting to look at the camera. Yeah, it's just to weld these bolts on the top, so that they'd end up like a U shape, and then we can bolt that onto the truck, and then I've got some old scrap of wood, so we can put that on the back of it and then bolt the fireworks and the pyrotechnics down onto that. Okay, so that's them all done. So still quite warm. So yeah, so that's what it looks like. So then we can bolt this round the tube, and then we can bolt the piece of wood on down with that. So yeah, let's get ready for measuring up the back now. So all I've got to do is measure what the centre is between the things, which should be 32 inches. So we've just got to cut the piece of wood a little bit bigger than that, so we've got nice margins on it, so we can drill down through that, and then that bit's done. While that was cooling down, let's take a walk around the back of the truck. So as I was saying, we was putting green LEDs in the back of the bedside. So while that was cooling down, you see this metal trim here. So that's actually got the LEDs in it. So all then we got to do then is at this end, got to put in the connections there. Yeah, so the reason why it's on the aluminium is because if you mounted it straight to the bed sides, and of course you damage the bed sides, then you've ruined it. So we just got the aluminium, and then there's bolts underneath, or on where the bedside bolts underneath, and that's it done. So then we've got to do then is put the wiring through up to the switches, which are already in the dashboard. Yeah, just got to make some wiring up now to light them up. But let's get on with making the piece of wood for the back, so we can bolt the Pyrotechnics and fireworks down into the back of Swampthing. Okay, so that piece of wood's in now. So look, you can see. So we've got the clamps there, and they go up over the top. And then this is the platform we got, so we can mount all the Pyrotechnics, all the fireworks down onto that. They can bolt right the way through. That is really strong. I can actually stand on this thing, so we can put a fair bit of weight on it. Let's climb up. Yeah, so it's pretty strong. I'm standing on the top of it now. So yeah, so that's a really good bit. So wow, don't normally see a monster truck engine at that angle, do we? But yeah, so that's that done. So we've got to do the wiring next, and then of course up on the top there's the light bar, so we've got to put that in. So the wiring's already in for that. Wiring's in for the headlight, got to swap over the bonnet. Okay, so I've just given it a coat of black paint just to tidy it up a lot. Yeah, it was really easy to get off, really nice and quick, which is going to be handy when we're having to refuel the monster truck. Okay, so we're just finishing off the oil change on the monster truck, so thank you again, Lucas Oil, for supplying the oils for Swampthing. Yeah, please check out lucasoil.co.uk for all the amazing oils they do. Okay, so we're at the workshop today doing one of the worst jobs you can do with a monster truck, cleaning tyres. Now these have already been hit with a jet wash already, and that's as clean as they really come with a jet wash on their own. But what we do, we spray Powermax traffic film remover on them, and then that gets really into them then, so they end up being this. So they've gone from this to that. So that one's dry, and this one's already dry. So that's what it looks like when it's dry. So it's a lot better. It takes about 40 minutes to do a tyre. I'm not going to film him for doing this because it's going to cover the camera because it's quite windy out today. So yeah, so I'm going to spray it over with traffic film remover and then just carry on jet washing it off. Yeah, lovely job. Okay, so all the tyres are done, they're all clean. I do like them when they're like that. I hate to go to shows, even if we're doing a show on grass or on dirt. I always like to turn up with them looking nice and clean. It's the biggest bit on the monster truck, and it's what makes a monster truck, are those massive tyres. Some people turn up with them dirty, but I don't like that. That's not the way I roll. So yeah, let's put these all the way at the back. Going to put them up at the back in there, and then we're going to reverse my trailer and lorry back in. So then we can carry on with getting the wiring done to get those green LEDs ready for Flame and Thunder. Okay, so we're up in the cab of the monster truck. So these are all normal controls that work the monster truck, but I've got these extra 3 over here, and these are the ones that do the lights and the heated screen. So the first one, you can push it down and that can flash the lights, and if I push it up, that puts the headlights on, and it also puts on the light bar at the bottom. So the next switch, that would turn the green lights on, which are in the bed sides, and the last switch turns on the fan, the heated fan for the heated windscreen. But at the moment these 2 aren't wired up. The headlight one is, but these 2 aren't. Main reason why this one isn't wired up, the switch is actually broken, so I've got to change the switch. And this one I just never got round to wiring it up. So the feed wire's up to here, but there's no wires going backwards to do the green lights. So let's do those two bits first. Okay, so this is one of the switches out of it, so you can actually see it's actually just got the end of it snapped off. It should look something like, well, this is what I'm going to put into it, so it should look like that. So it should have 2 pins. This one's actually got an extra pin on it. The reason why that one's got an extra pin in it is this one's actually got an LED in the end of it. So when it's turned on, this light would light up red. Now the idea of why it's got the extra terminal in there, you could put this into something that's plastic so it wouldn't conduct electricity. So it has to have an earth on it to make the LED light up. Now luckily enough, this panel that I'm going to be putting it into is earthed anyway, so it actually earth on the bit that bolts it in. So this is going to be an easy fix to get the fan working, because all the wires are in for the fan. So we'll just put this in, turn the power on, and we should push the switch on. The fan should start and the LED will light up red, so we know it's on. Okay, so the wiring, I've changed the switch now. So this is the switch with the LED on it. So if I flick that down now, the light comes on, and that's the fan running for the windscreen. So if I turn the switch off, that's the fan off. So yeah, so that one's done. So all we got to do now is I'm actually going to put a red light in this one so I know when the LEDs are on in the back. So let's change that one next and then start putting some wiring in. Okay, so all the lights are fitted now. All wired up, all ready to go. Just got to tidy up a bit of the wiring. Yeah, so I've just got to cable tie all these wires up, all out the way. Had to drill a little hole there just to get it through the bodywork. Just run a positive wire all the way from the switch up into the positive, and also then just run an earth wire back to the bolts. So I know which wire it is. I've actually used the green wire, so it's done with the green lights. So nice and simple. So yeah, so at night, everything that's silver will be glowing up green. So it should look really good for Flame and Thunder. Okay, so we're at the front of the monster truck now. So this is that light bar I was on about. So I've actually made this up myself. So that just slots into the square receiver hitch. Now normally on light bars I got little aluminium clamps and stuff on it. So it's still the original light bar, but what I've done is I've just made a steel housing that slots in there, and then it's just held on just with the 2 bolts in the end there either side. That holds it on. So let's wire this up quickly to show you what it looks like. Okay, so we've got plenty of light down there on that light bar. That thing is absolutely blinding. So when I change the bonnet, I'm not going to change the bonnet just yet. I'll do that one just before I load it up. Oh, come out of the way. Look at that. Yeah, so I'm going to change the bonnet just before I load it up. All the wiring's all ready for that. The reason I'm not going to change it just now is I actually have to pull the monster truck a bit further back in the workshop, and it's easier if I do it when the trailer's out. So yeah, because I need one other person to give me a hand to change the bonnet. But yeah, so that's that all done. So the wiring is all done on the monster truck now. So that's it, going to be the end of the vlog for this week. It's got loads more still to do, so probably coming up fairly soon. Going to be painting that spare body up there, and then in the winter when we got the quieter part, that's when I'm going to start getting back on to getting the second truck finished. So it's all painted now. Just got to get round to assembling it up. So we're going to get on with that. So we're going to start putting the gearbox in, the engine, working out what we're going to do with the exhaust. So that's what's coming up in the future. But please remember to subscribe and click notifications to find out what we're doing as soon as I upload the videos. I always read all your comments. It's been absolutely fantastic. I love all your comments and things you like about Swampthing. But please, please, please come on to the next show, which is a Flame and Thunder show at Swanta Pod Raceway for monster trucks in the dark.